Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. In this video I will be talking about Graptovaria marpin. I had someone request for the succulent. This is one of my favorite succulent among all of the Graptovarias. Of course, Graptovaria titubans is also one of my favorite, but this is the icing on the cake. It gets very beautiful color. Graptovaria titubans is very beautiful. This is the Graptovaria titubans. It is extremely beautiful, but when it comes to color, Graptovaria marpin is your answer. These will not change the color a lot. They are going to stay pretty much the same color. But our Graptovaria marpin tends to change color a lot. It depends upon how much of sunlight you give. Right now it's not getting a lot of sunlight, so the colors are a little bit less. It's more on the gray tone, greenish to gray tone. But when it gets a good amount of morning direct sunlight, the colors will change completely. I will put the image if I can find on the screen. It's one of the most easiest succulent to grow if you are a beginner. If you're planning to buy succulents, or if you're planning to get into succulents and you are completely new, you do not have any experience of succulents, I'll tell you, just blindly close your eyes, go to the garden center, pick up a Graptovaria marpin, get it home, you are set. It is that easy. You do not need to be worried about anything. It is a very easy to grow succulent. Apart from that, it's very easy to multiply, tends to propagate very easily with leaf propagations. I have a couple of them that I had done leaf propagation some time back. I'm sorry they are a little stretched right now, but I will slowly start introducing them to morning direct sunlight. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the leaf propagations that have reached to this size, which are almost a decent size. They tend to grow at a much faster rate during the winters, because winters is their growing period, because they are Graptovarias. So it's one of the most easiest one to grow. Here is another one that I had done a stem cutting some time back, and you can see the colors look absolutely beautiful. This one was in morning direct sunlight, but now because of the renovation I had to shift, but still the colors are still present. So you can see there's a lot of difference between both. They definitely look like they're two different varieties of succulents, but actually they are the same. Only thing is this one was on little less light and this was on more light. And you can see it's still very small. It's not a full size, it's still medium size, but you can see already it has a lot of pups. Now definitely this is a little bit a bigger size, a little bit fuller size. This one is still very small, but you can see how beautiful the coloration is. It gets even more intense color as in when it starts to grow, and it also has a pup. You can see it's still very small and still it has pups. I will take out the dry leaves. These guys tend to put out a lot of dry leaves because they tend to grow so rapidly. So they do have a lot of dry leaves. So I will clear this out and you will be able to see the pup much easily. Here I have another one as well. This was a leaf propagation. You can see how quick it has grown, and it is a double head. So Graptovaria marpin, the best thing about Graptovaria marpin is they usually tend to put double heads on a single leaf. So this was a single leaf and now there are two more of them. So this was a single leaf and now there are two heads, 1 and 2. And even this one has a beautiful chubby pup. I won't be separating the pup now because it's still very small, so I'm going to let it stay with this. I can't even call this as a mother plant because it's still very small, but you can see how well it does. It tends to grow really fast, and very beautiful coloration, very compact, very vibrant colors. Once it gets into its dormant season, which is during the summers. Now during the winter season they are in their growing period, so the colors are not very intense, but as in when they get into the dormant period the colors get even more intense. I would say it's more on the reddish maroon color. I will search for a picture if I can find, because this year I was not able to stress them much, but probably next summer I will be able to stress them much better. But it's one of the most easiest succulent. Trust me, if you find this in your local nursery or garden center, don't think twice, just go ahead and purchase it. Maintenance is just that you have to get rid of the lower leaves. I haven't seen much of pest attack on this plant. It's quite resilient to mealybugs. Even though I have so much of dry leaves, but I don't find any mealybugs. Very rarely they get attacked with mealybugs. So I would say overall, if you are a beginner, this is one of the best succulent that you can add in your collection, and it does quite well. I have also seen that it does very well in high humid locations as well, wherein echeverias don't do quite well, especially for people who are closer to the coastal area. A lot of times you are not able to grow echeverias, but you want a plant that looks very similar to an echeveria. I think you have your answer right in front of you. You can go ahead and get this plant. It looks a little bit like echeveria. It's not echeveria, but it gives a very closer feeling to an echeveria. It looks absolutely beautiful. You can see I've taken out so much of dry leaves. They tend to put out a lot of dry leaves because they tend to grow very, very fast, especially now during the winter season. So it's always better to clean up the dry leaves. So leaf propagation, I'm sure by now you might have seen so many of my videos. I won't be doing a leaf propagation right now because I have ample amount of the Graptovaria marpens. I have to first find a pot for them, and then probably I will do a leaf propagation. But I'm sure you know how to do a leaf propagation. Just twist and turn the lower leaf, put it on a dry surface, and then in some days they will start to put out pups and roots like this. So it's very simple. So that's all about it overall. Give them a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours after acclimating it. Do not keep them in a place where there is less light. They will not do quite well. They will immediately start to stretch. These are a type of succulents that require a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours after acclimating it. So keep that thing in mind. Apart from that, the soil remains the same. It has to be loose, porous and well draining. If you're going to take care of these two things, it is going to be very easy for you to grow Graptovaria marpen. So that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe and keep planting.